evening, Laura Cole, 41 Washington Avenue, Elmwood Park, New Jersey. I just have a question. Are you Mr. Schenkel? Are you in charge of the solid waste?
I'm the Assistant Commissioner for Enforcement.
Oh, enforcement, okay. Hello, Mr. Kamansky. Mr. Kamansky and I are friends going back to 2003. One day I woke up and I found out that I lived in a contaminated area, and it's a hell of a thing to wake up in the morning and realize that your air is unbreathable and that you may be posing danger to your children. In reading, I wanted to know how dangerous our air was in Elmwood Park, and I sought to read all the air emission statements for the state of New Jersey to compare our levels of PCBs and mercury with other sites. I stumbled upon the incinerator, which was American Refuel at that time. I was so alarmed at the amount of mercury that was coming out of that facility that I had to contact someone. I talked to Ms. Garcia of the Ironbound Association, and I told her, I said, the amount of mercury that's coming out of your incinerator is unbelievably high for this state. Nowhere else in this state do you have that much mercury coming out of any kind of smokestack. I was dogged with that knowledge for 5 years. Every time I'd go up and down the turnpike, I'd see the stack tremendously high with all this smoke blowing out of it. I would wonder, my own husband works here, he makes money here. Does he have to die because there's some smoke in the air? No one has the right to our air. And you know who sets the standards for the air? Not the DEP, you guys do. Because I'll tell you something, with all the calculations that they do, the only final decision comes with you when you go outside and you say, you know what, it's not working out. It's not working out, it's not right that you have 122 pounds of mercury for year after year in your own airstream. It's not right, and you set those emissions. We had a little issue with our air modeling, and I obviously can hear from the testimony that none of you really know how your air model was arrived at. Well, the computer generations, you know, they start at certain kind of ambient air sampling, which you may not know. They'll wheel some kind of weather around and until it like fits correctly, and then they get the kind of readings that you like, and then they'll go put it up on a slide. Then maybe even, they might not even have the amounts right. In our case, in our air model, they took weather from Atlantic City Airport from 1994. They took the wrong amount of PCBs, and they told us we were fine. Fortunately, Mr. Kamansky can attest, they did close down that process when the public did outcry, and we finally said, this can't be right. This is a neighborhood, we have people close by, and you cannot be releasing, these are hazardous air pollutants, not criteria gases. These are air pollutants that cause cancer, cause brain damage, cause all types of cancers. These are so bad that you have to measure them in pounds, not tons. And there's another mistake that the DEP makes. They take these hazardous air pollutions, and you know what a safe level is? 0. 0 is a safe level. Nothing is safe. There is no amount of mercury that is safe. 0 amount is safe. So they have to measure these pollutants because they're so volatile by pounds. But now they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put them in fraction tons. So now you have a number 0.06, I believe your number is like 0.061. Tons per pound of mercury. And you say, well, that doesn't look too bad, 0.06. How could that be a lot? But get on your scientific hat, go get a calculator on the internet that can translate it over, and you'll find out. You've got 122 pounds of mercury coming out every year. 2003, 2004. Matter of fact, it was higher in 2003. I think it was 160. 2003, 2004, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the future. Where's that mercury today? Where's that mercury? It didn't go away. It's here. You still have it here. Now your dioxins went in our river and all the way up to Elmwood Park. Now where's your mercury going? I don't want it. You don't want it. We don't want it. Give it back. Put it back to the garbage. If you want to have a medical incinerator, raise it up to 2,000 degrees. Whatever you got to do to burn that off. We don't want it in our air. I don't want it in my air. Nobody has a right to put it in my air. Now, here's my statement. The Sierra Club strongly encourages the Department of Environmental Protection to deny Covanta's application for a permit renewal. This incinerator has a long history of air violations, poses an acute health and safety risk for the residents of Ironbound, and contributes to the region's poor air quality. Garbage incinerators are not known for their cleanliness, but Covanta is notorious for its pollution. The management has resulted with hundreds of violations in air quality permits for the past 6 years. Those violations have resulted from inadequate monitoring systems. Current inspections are conducted only 3 times over a 5-year period. The incinerator was adequately, if the incinerator has been adequately inspected, one can only imagine the violations they would find. The secondary and cumulative impacts of the incinerator have put the people of Ironbound at risk. The pollution emitted by the incinerator is astounding. Mercury, releasing 122 pounds of mercury accumulated per year, is conducive to emergency situation. I'd like to call Warren DEP and tell you that somebody has just dumped 122 pounds of mercury in Newark. Would that constitute a critical cleanup? Yes, it would. Carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter is a mixed bag of pollution that can be linked to cancer, heart disease, respiratory problems, among others. One of the best known threats is particulate matter. Plants do not employ microfilters to deal with small particulates. Furthermore, Essex County and the surrounding counties are out of attainment for particulate matter. Diesel trucks bring the garbage from 22 municipalities, I'm going to be conservative there, and contribute to poor air quality. Newark is an environmental justice city, extending the permit of the plant without adequate review of health impacts, environmental justice implications. Okay, now I'm going to get into my own thing here. The high number of Title V permits in this Newark area constitutes a base quality that is so poor. But when they do your monitoring, your modeling, there may be a Title V right next door. They're not going to even acknowledge that it exists. So everybody gets their own little Title V as if none of them exist without the other. The only way that you guys are ever really going to know the quality of your air is have these companies give you equipment, UV sniffers, and fence line monitoring that you run in the community from the nonprofit organizations that can be set for these kind of chemicals, and then you'll know when they're having violations at the sites. And because everyone knows that a lot of the violations happen, I mean, it's still like the 70s, they happen on the holidays, after 5 o'clock, on the weekends, and no inspectors can come around. So you need to do it, your monitoring yourself. The Louisiana Bucket Brigade is a really good website. If you want to go, they give you instructions on how to use the air monitoring equipment, and you got to go because the state is not doing an adequate job with Title V permitting. I particularly feel that the EPA should come back to New Jersey and take all the Title V permitting away from the state and handle it themselves. Because what somebody referred to as, you know, there's some kind of the fixes in or whatever. When you have a federal entity coming in and doing your big permitting, you're going to prevent the little monkeying back and forth with the local officials and the state and all these other people. The EPA's got to come in. We've got a crisis in New Jersey. We're understaffed in DEP. Great. Let them come back. Why they even ever gave us the Title V permitting to do in New Jersey and be responsible for it. It has no checks and balances, meaning the state does the small permits, the state does the large permits, and the EPA says, oh, that looks good to me. And if you say it's okay, state, we say it's okay. So you really need to have them come in and take it all back over again. This facility must install better technology to reduce the emissions or simply reduce the amount of waste they take in. For the last 18 years, the garbage incinerator has been allowed to poison the air for the residents of New Jersey. The excessive violations of the plan and the severity of the resulting health risks should be reason enough to deny the request for extending this permit. Thank you.